All right, senior home business family, how you guys doing today? Wednesday, Brittany, Matt's in the house talking about senior placement business, entrepreneurship, all the rest. You know what we do. We don't have to keep doing it every live, do we, Brittany? Do I have to say everything the exact same way every live? I mean, people that follow us, they know what we do. But if you want to know more about what we do, there's like 4 or 5 clicks down below. There's some links. You can do all that stuff. You can learn about Tour Senior Living. You can learn about Senior Placement Institute. There's like a free webinar, and there's a $29 workshop, 3-day recorded. Now, when I say 3-day, it's really 1 hour each day. So I don't want to be confusing everybody, because I know if I saw a 3-day recorded webinar or workshop, Brittany, I'd be thinking, all right, I'm getting 8 hours each day. It's only 1 hour. So, I'm just letting you know what it is, but you'll learn a lot in that $29 one. If you want to learn and just are not ready to pull the trigger, like Brittany, I talked to somebody yesterday. She knew very little about the business, and she's watched maybe a handful of our videos, and she's had some very specific questions. I was in the car with Josh on the way back from visiting our communities yesterday and got talking to her, and she was like, I just don't know anything about this. And I think that's a great place to start. So I'll always send you to the webinar, which is free, or the 3-day workshop, 1 hour each day for $29. Be a great place to start. And then you kind of pick it up from there. So today we're going to talk about, Brittany, what seniors value the most. I want to have our video today more from a senior's perspective, you guys, because I know it's all about the seniors. And when they move to a community, it's as a senior placement agent, as families, as social workers, people that are in this industry, they want the very best for the loved one. But our twist today is talking more about how the senior feels about their experience in the home or the community. And we're going to go through 5 different things today to kind of highlight those areas, because I think some of these might be overlooked. I know we talk a lot about, or at least people feel like, it's talked about a lot, which probably is true. The price point, how much does it cost? Where is it located? All that good stuff. But from a senior's perspective, Brittany, I think they're like, man, can we really get a hold of my feelings, what I want to do? And I know every senior's at a different place in life, and maybe some can't make this decision. I totally get it. But I'm really thinking more about today, the assisted living individual who is able still to make some decisions of their own in some form or capacity, and how we can get them involved. But what's your level of importance, kind of like a 1 to 10, 10 being like the highest, 1 being the lowest, of importance to get the seniors' input, involvement in the move-in process?
Yeah, I would say it's very high, 8 or 9. The reason I don't go 10 is sometimes their
Right.
their perception of what they mean may be different. So it definitely is a group effort. It takes a village to make this decision, but it also depends on where the senior's at. A lot of times we hear, I just want to go home, or like they just might not be aware of all the care or fully accepting of where they're at. So I think it's around 8 or 9. That 10 going 1 up is definitely just the family usually does have to take the reins in a lot of situations where they're the ultimate decision maker, but involving the senior is super important.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. It's just when it's possible to get the seniors' involvement. That's why even when early on in my business, Brittany, before virtual tours were cool, online meetings were cool, before COVID, all that, I really felt a level of empathy for a senior that I would meet at a skilled nursing facility that had no family, no outside resources that could provide good information about communities other than look at this brochure. What do you think of this picture? So that's really what got me started with doing these virtual tours. I'd actually go to these skilled nursing facilities going, what if I'm this individual? What if I'm this gentleman here in bed and I don't know where I'm going? I just know I have to be discharged, and I'm seeing some pictures. Wouldn't it be cool if I could see like some video of what the room looks like, the dining hall, if it's a large community, or some activities are going on, and then the care home as well. So that's the reason I started doing the virtual tour thing. And it's why I started before COVID, because I know a lot of people were starting as COVID hit because they couldn't gain access into the communities and the care homes. And I started doing before because I just started thinking it's the right thing to do. Now, when they have family, maybe it's a little different. The family members would go and often take pictures, at least the ones I talked to, and bring it back to mom or dad in the skilled nursing facility and say, hey, Dad, is this what it looks like? And they'd be great. But if they didn't have any family members, how would they know? If I'm in that bed lying in skilled nursing, I'd be like, where are they taking me? Medical transport, here we go. I have no idea where I'm being dropped off at. I don't know these people. I don't know the caregivers. I don't know the leadership there. Never slept there before. All that stuff to me, from a human standpoint, is awkward. Very, very awkward if you don't know. And so I want to go through the first one, Brittany. It's just exceptional quality of care and staff. I think this would be very important, and what seniors value most is the quality of care and the staff. I mean, I know you have seen countless times in your business, Brittany, because you do a lot of business in terms of seeing some good quality caregivers, homeowners. They go out of their way for their residents. And I take it, guys, take this for what it's worth, but I believe 99% of the people in this business are in it for the right reasons. I really believe that. And there's always one bad apple in the group, but for the most part, everybody's in it for the right reason. But the quality of care, and what I mean kind of by that is, it's not so much just, okay, you're going to care for me. You're going to come by, and if I'm in a care home, and bring me my meal to my room, or if I'm in a community, you're going to check up on me 2 or 3 times a day, and I'm on your schedule. But I really believe it goes out of just the scope of just the regular, ordinary things you would normally do. Like, I'll give you an example. I was at a community yesterday, a large community, wonderful individual up front. Her name is Gracie. And she's there. She's been there for a couple months. She just moved here from Bakersfield, and she used to work for another community down there. And there was a lady across the kind of the foyer part. There's another part of the building over there. They had these kind of activities, and some of the activities were these tables with these big, big puzzles. I mean, big puzzles, right? My hands, I mean, I'd be doing it not justice, but my hands on the screen. Big, big puzzles. And there was a lady over there that was just doing this puzzle, and Gracie's on the phone. Got talking to her before we started talking to the marketing director, and she was like, yeah, I was just over there for the longest time. She goes, that lady is so smart. She knows how to do these puzzles. She just finds the end pieces. She's just got her technique. And she was just telling me all these different things. I could tell from Gracie's conversation we were having, man, she's going beyond the call of duty. Gracie's responsibility is front desk, concierge, answer the phone, be of help, be of assistance, sign here, call somebody to come up front. But what is she also doing? Sitting across the table from an elderly lady and doing a puzzle with the lady, but also understanding the lady's feelings and all that. So how important is it? I mean, it kind of goes without saying, but you have some examples, Brittany, you kind of think off the top of your head. I don't mean to put you on the spot, off the top of your head, about something like that, like a quality of care, or where the staff is kind of just going out of their way. Because I would find that important. I think everybody would, right?
Yeah, I think it just comes down to being genuine and going above and beyond. Like, that really does make a difference. And when that happens, like, the whole environment of the community is different. Like, it stands out. I have plenty of examples, but, I've been in communities where I can picture the caregiver, I even remember her. That's how bright. And, we would be on a tour even, and they come and they take time out. That's not their job. They're not trained caregivers to come out of their way and talk to families about, for the most part, about the community and saying how much they, enjoy the residents. Usually your typical hourly caregiver is not going to do that. I can picture this lady's face, because whether it's a tour and she's not just doing it for show, you can tell she's genuine. Like, if we might be walking down the hall and she hears us talking about care, she'll chime in like, yeah, I'm the one that does the meds or whatever. Or like, if you're on a tour, even, again, not staged, you can just see the genuine people that work there. And it really feels like a good place to be. Like, everybody's happy. I know we always say when we go visit, talk to the front desk, see how happy they are to be there. And it really does. It really makes the environment of the whole community just go, like, I mean, almost like a light shining, I guess. It's like a good way. You can tell the difference between a community that has quality care of staff that goes way beyond the minimum. I have an example. I love this one. It was kind of fun. I had a resident move in, and he'd already moved in. So this wasn't like a sales pitch to get him to move in. And about a week later, he loves martinis, and he always has to have ice. Well, his apartment doesn't have a ice machine in it. He's in assisted living, so he doesn't have an ice machine. Well, by the first 4 days, or in the first week, every day before dinner, the dining room manager walks down to his apartment, gives him a bag of ice to put in his freezer, so that he can put his little martini and go down. And she doesn't have to do that. That's not. So just a little example, kind of a fun one. And he called me, the senior himself, and was like, I love this place. Like, they remember the small details about me and go beyond just giving me showers and giving me medication. So I think it's really
Absolutely.
getting to know them.
Put in perspective, like you guys out there, Brittany, I know you and your husband, me and my wife, and we got certain places we like to go to. And maybe it's because I'm thinking in terms of restaurant, right? So it could be a style of food, things like that. But I know my wife and I would like to go in certain restaurants because not only the quality of food, not only because of the atmosphere, but it's the people. You know, I took my son yesterday. We were out seeing communities, went to one of my favorite restaurants. I walk in there, they know me. The lady that runs the whole thing is 76 years old. She's wonderful. It's a fantastic restaurant. She comes up, gives me a hug. They give us premier seating. They wait on us right away. All this kind of stuff, and I like that. And so I don't think it's any different with seniors that want good quality care. But like you're talking about, just the small things, you know, just the I mean, obviously the basics, remembering their name, guys. If you're providing care for seniors, please address them by their name, man, and just say, hey, Bill, how are you doing today? And you might want to bring up something about, if it's appropriate, it doesn't bring hard feelings and all that, but something like maybe something about their family, if it brings a smile on their face, if it's a positive story. Don't bring up anything bad, obviously, but a positive story. But it's just going out of your way and doing that kind of thing. And so the second thing I like to talk about, Brittany, is just engaging activities in social life. I know we talk a lot about activities, and that's important, especially if you're ambulatory, you have very few ADLs, and you're able to participate in the activities, Wii bowling, going on the bus to go to the restaurant, the zoo, or whatever it may be. But I think it's important too, just the overall, like some communities. I was reminded this yesterday because there's one community I walked into, and they've completely remodeled. Like the place looks fantastic. It's so well lit as well, man. There was like no dark corner, no dark area, well lit. You could tell that the seniors were coming out, sitting over here doing this activity, talking over here, having a cup of coffee. You may have seen on my Instagram, I had this story of the piano that was right there. And this is a community that would actually have a senior that will play the piano during dinner. Now, they used to have one that did it regularly. Unfortunately, he passed away about a year ago. So they have someone every now and then. But it's just those kind of things, providing an atmosphere, like my restaurant story. Well, this community, and this is an independent community, so it might be a little different assisted living, but it's an independent community. They have a piano there. How cool would it be? I know I would like it, going to dinner at night, someone's playing a piano in the background. It just provides a whole different atmosphere. It's the social life. What's your 2 cents on that, Brittany? Just the importance, or maybe some of the things, not only the importance, because we know it's important, but what are some things communities can do that wouldn't have to be high budget items? I'm not saying go out and buy a piano if you don't have one. I'm not saying, spend thousands and thousands of dollars that money may or may not have. But what are some kind of things they can do to kind of make the dining room experience, activities, a little more social, where everybody's involved and they feel good about it?
Yeah, I mean, we know that some communities do a lot better at activities than others, and you can definitely also feel that when you're in the community. I have some that we call it like the downtown Manhattan hotel. That's what they feel like. That you can feel the energy. So I think the piano is a great example. I also think some live music is great, like at happy hours, not huge high ticket stuff, but like you mentioned, piano at dinner. Like I have a lot of independent living communities that will do that. They have Sunday brunch, change it up a little bit, do Sunday brunch, have it more interactive. I also think inviting family and friends to more activities is really important. Sunday brunch is a huge opportunity for that. They go to church, they go back to mom or dad or grandma and grandpa's community. Everybody's there. They have a pianist, they have mimosas, they have like stuff like that. So I really think being able to not only engage the residents, but bringing family in too is huge. The one that we refer to like the Manhattan downtown, it is like you said in the lobby, and it's just like family is coming and going, and like it just feels like you're in this really social environment. So I just think creating opportunities where the community can come in, whether it be an entertainer. I know like the high schools come in, because I just think it gives, you can all do bingo, you can all do crafts, like activities calendar, but getting more, just more engagement, more different people to talk to, different faces to look at, children, grandchildren, they love all that. So.
Yeah. I mean, obviously the care is important with a large community, but I think the activity director is so crucial I mean, and I would encourage communities, and I've seen this happen a few times, not as often as I would like, but when families go on tours, obviously the marketing director's there, right? Because they're responsible for showcasing the community and all that. They might meet the executive director. That probably happens sometimes. Maybe the nurse pops out. But I think it's important in communities. You can take kind of a pro tip that I've seen out in the communities. If you have a good activity director, if you don't, go get one. And if you do, have that person involved, because you want part of that tour to go into an area where something's going on. I know we've seen this happen quite a bit, Brittany, and I get why they do it. Communities will put their best foot forward and stage tours and have some activities going on. They may or may not typically do. I get that. But even if you don't have any activities going on, they get to meet the activity director, see a schedule of all what's going on. I'd have like a little short video. I mean, short, like 3 minutes, guys. Don't make it like a movie. You ain't got that much time, but like a 3-minute thing, have it like on a widescreen TV in my activity thing. So when they walk in, it's like, so the people are just seeing activities up on the screen. And so they see all that going on. I would have some of that, but I think the activity coordinator is so important, because obviously the ADLs, taking care of the senior, taking care of their behaviors, all that's paramount. But something about that social life, they've got to be able to feel a sense of belonging, and they just like, this is home. And if we don't have some of those things, I think the seniors kind of, feel like, man, I'm just going here to eat and sleep and, whatever. But you have a good social life. Like you mentioned, happy hour, right? I think that's so important, if that's important to seniors, but just providing options for them. Outdoor barbecue when the weather permits, right? That's something basic and inexpensive for communities to do. It doesn't take a whole lot. I mean, there's some of your food budget. You just take it to an outdoor barbecue, and maybe you have somebody come by to play the guitar, or, maybe it's a comedian, or maybe it's a magician or something like that. You just, somebody local where you're not spending thousands of dollars. It's somebody that's pretty good at what they do, and the seniors would love it. And you are making a memory for the seniors. And I think that is so important. God, I could talk all day about that. That just warms my heart. I'm telling you, when I see that in a community, it just blesses me. It just brings me to a place of, it just warms my heart, where I'm going, man, this place really does care. And again, I believe all of them. I believe all you guys care. But I do also believe that people don't oftentimes remember what you say. They remember how you made them feel. And even though you may care, what happens is they go into your community and it's kind of cold and dark and nothing's going on. And they leave that tour and you wonder why they didn't leave a deposit. You wonder why they want to look at 2 or 3 other communities, because they walk in your community going, there ain't nothing going on. This doesn't feel like home to me. Make the experience of the tour feel like home for the resident, or if the resident's not there, for the family members, so they go, man, mom would love this place. Encourage the family to take pictures when it's appropriate. I know you might have to have some disclosures and written agreements with residents in the community, but when it's appropriate, when you're able to, have them, encourage them to take some pictures, encourage them to have a video. I know there's apps out there that communities, we used to use one. Gosh, I know if we used to use it back in the day, I know they have apps now where we had this app, we could actually video the tour, and it would actually splice everything for us, promote the community, right? Because I was just the marketing director, outside sales, but marketing director of one community. And we'll do all that, and we would actually kick that out to people. Encourage the family, take that back to their loved one, their resident. Well, I mean, have a follow-up of the tour. The social life, I know we're getting off talking about tours, but man, social life, but you've got to demonstrate this. I think the tour, God, I could talk all about the tour, but the tour, you've got to make that like, this is life here at ABC Community that makes us different than anyone else. Not, hi, my name's Matt. How are you? Glad you're here today. Let me show you the apartment. Let's go down here. Walk into the apartment. Oh, here's the bedroom. That's the bathroom. Oh, it has a toilet and a sink and a floor, full of a shower. It's got all that. Isn't it amazing? I wouldn't care. They all have that. Make something different. So, okay, let's get to another thing I think is very important, maybe because I'm at a stage in my life, Brittany, I like to eat. Might not look like it, thank God, because my wife cooks really good, but I love to eat. I think excellent dining and meal options are so crucial for seniors. And one thing I want to say about this, and I'll throw it back into your territory, give you the ball, is I love communities that have all day options of eating, not just breakfast 7 to 10, lunch 12 to 2, dinner 5 to 7. I like all day. And I like the menu to be up there and they can actually go there and sit down and have a meal anytime you want. Why is that? Because when you're at home, do you have a schedule that says you can only eat breakfast 7 to 10? No. If you want breakfast at 5 o'clock in the morning, you get. Now, I understand there's probably some restrictions, in terms of staff and the chef, when the food's going to be prepped and all that. But you could do lighter stuff all in between that makes it where you're accommodating the senior. Maybe they don't get the full menu, during the off hours, but they're able to get something more than a snack at the snack bar. Go grab some peanuts and some juice. I mean, they might want something else. Might they want a sandwich? Might want a cup of soup. Might want a nice salad. They can get stuff like that. I know. Brittany, I'm on a tangent here. Go talk about that. I mean, excellent dining and meal options.
I agree. I like the newer communities, but I've seen they've done like a bistro setup. So they'll have that, like they'll have their main dining room where they do breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but they have a bistro where they have soup, salad, chips, apples. Like they have more like chicken salad and fruit cups. And so I really like that because, again, to your point, like in your home, you don't have somebody telling you can't have fruit at 11. You have, at 1, you have to wait for dinner till 4. So I really like that. I also think the variety. You're going to hear every community usually that you go in has the set menu that changes like seasonally, or those like the a la carte where you can pick like a hot dog, hamburger, salad, chicken fingers, whatever that is every day. And then they also have the daily specials that change. I've seen some trends recently where instead of doing like 3 specials per day, it's 1. So I hate to see that. I've seen some differentiating in communities now that, like when I was in senior living and working in the communities, we had 3 specials every day. 4 different sides every day, 3 different desserts every day, change soup and salad every day. And then we would have that, menu that changes seasonally. We would do like quarterly or whatever that looks like, kind of change it, like do chicken salad in the summer. And then maybe in the winter, we do more like a heavy meal that's not, chicken salad. But I have seen some change in that in the last 2 years, probably significantly on how they're doing that. So I think it's just also resident choice too. I'm not a fan of the communities that, and this could be just preference, that have you pick out the meals the week before. Have you had?
Oh yeah, nobody does that at home. I don't do that. Jeez.
Yeah, it's like what you're in the mood for. So really having like that restaurant style dining, that they have a menu they can look at. They usually give them a weekly menu, but they can choose the day of. Like they can sit down, choose what they want. I might think on a Monday that I want fried fish on Friday, but I change my mind when Friday comes around. So I just think being able to be flexible. I also, to dining, like communities that also will like tailor to dietary needs, because I've had communities that say they won't follow a diabetic, like they don't have a lot of options for, low sugar and stuff. So just being able, especially for that certain senior, they need to make sure wherever they're going, it's going to match their needs, of course, and especially their wants, because I don't know if you've ever been to like a cruise or an all-inclusive vacation where you hate the food and you're stuck there for 7 days. Let me tell you, after 7 days, you're at the airport just scarfing down anything you can get. So you want someone to be able to get the food they need, and especially that they want. But I think the need is a huge factor too. So making sure that the communities can accommodate low sugar, low sodium, if that's someone that needs that, because wouldn't that stink to go down to the dining room and have to eat a tiny menu because they can't accommodate? So I think it's just good to really, from a senior.
Here's an option for you, communities. It might be a little bit out of the ordinary. It might be a little inconvenient, might be a little costly at times for staff to do this, to take them from one responsibility to the next. I know when seniors are honored in some way, sometimes communities will give them like some sort of badge, or they'll give them a preferential seating at the dining to kind of showcase them. Why not give them room service for a week? Dude, when I go to hotels, I shouldn't say never. Very few times I go down to the dining. My wife and I do what? We get room service. And I understand you want them at the dining hall because you want them to interact, you want the social life and all that good stuff. But at times, I'm not saying all the time, but at certain moments, say, hey, we're giving you room service. And don't charge them for it. God dang, I hate that. I heard that one time where a lady got sick and She couldn't come out of her room for 3 days. And so for the first day, the community took her food up to her. Then they did it the second day. Then they did it the third day. And it's like, man, it's being generous, being nice. And then what happened at the end of the month? The family got a daggone bill for it. Like they invoiced them because they had to go upstairs to the second floor and bring the lady some meals to take care of. I think that's terrible, but that's some options. Okay, number 4, modern, comfortable, clean facilities. Now, I'm not advocating that your community go out and restructure everything, knock down walls and add all kinds of stuff, but try to make it as modern as you can, comfortable as you can, and at least it needs to be clean. Come on, guys. I'm not the best in the world, but I love things that are clean. Thank God I'm married to a wife that enjoys the same thing. You come to our house, it looks like a model house, not because of yours truly, because of my wife and the housekeeper and everything else, but it looks really nice. But have it clean, right? Be comfortable. Try to make it's their own. So I notice communities sometimes will have like, and this is something you can do structurally, have like some banner hooks up on the walls, and they just have the interchangeable banners. Like yesterday, they had some St. Patrick Day banners. Well, I know they only have that like, during St. Patrick's Day, right? So they'll take that one down. They leave the hooks up there, have some other banners you put up there, but try to make it modern. And I mean modern, I don't mean like to my generation. I think it should be modern to the seniors generation. I think some communities go overboard and try to make it modern to 2025 in what the average person today would look at as far as the young crowd. And they go, oh, wow, this looks really good, but not really having the eyeglasses and the viewpoint of the senior. They need to see that it's modern for them. So get their input. I think getting surveys from seniors, talking to seniors, asking what they would like, and also because that just gives you the pulse of the seniors, right? I think communities sometimes, Brittany, will kind of just get in the flow of things, just the way we've always done it. And they don't really consult the seniors. Now, I know a lot of them do. They'll have like these senior committees, and the committees will, once a week convene and say, hey, we would like to do this. Hey, we hate that. Hey, can we change the food to be in this? And that's all great. I love that. But get the honest input from the senior, but make it modern, comfortable, clean facility. So clean is kind of a given. How can we make it more modern and comfortable without spending thousands of dollars structurally doing something different to the building?
I like the idea of changing out, like for the holidays. I've been in communities where like it'll be summer and I still see the pumpkins out from fall. That just makes me cringe. Or like, the decorations or the hay bales. And I'm like, oh.
They still got skeletons hanging up there for Halloween, right?
Like even like I actually, care homes, we could talk about those a little bit. A lot of markets have those. When I go to a care home and walk up to a care home, different than a large community, but when they have like spring stuff out, flowers, just little, it's literally Home Depot trip and probably $100. They have fresh flowers, or they have, their door has a wreath for Easter or just whatever for spring and things like that. I really think it makes a difference. It makes it feel like a home, no different than a large community. Change out the flowers, change out the centerpieces in the dining room, put some fresh flowers in them, put some fresh flowers on the front desk, maybe put some nice new current magazines on the table in the, lobby area. Like just keep up with it. I think a lot of it, whether it's a care home or large community, if you do these things, keep up with it. Change the St. Patrick's Day thing out after St. Patrick's Day, stuff like that. Right. So I just think little things do really go a long way. I love the flowers, the decorations. I know Christmas is an amazing time to go into communities. They do a really good job. But yeah, just when you do it, keep up with it. Again, I think that's a turnoff to every family if we go in and things they're comfortable, clean, but like up to date. Like make sure that things are in the right spot, or like pillows. I always see this, which I know it's windy a lot in the spring, but all the cushions on the outdoor furniture, they're all blown over. And just like, again, just making it like, takes a little bit of effort to make it feel inviting and homey.
I like the decorative piece. Like I'm not a great decorator by no means. My wife is, and we've got, I tell you, down to our puppies, right? We got a Molschi and a Shih Tzu, 19.5 pounds, 8.5 pounds. They both think they're guard dogs and all kinds of stuff. But the place we take them to be groomed, the owner of the building, I don't know if she does it herself or she hires somebody, no matter what season it is, you walk in this dog grooming place and dude, it is beautifully decorated on that season. And that, to me, that says a lot about attention to detail. It just does. I mean, it's like, wow, okay, she's put a lot of thought into this. So much attention to detail. They got one lady that works there that absolutely loves our puppies. Our puppies love her. They, as soon as we bring the puppies there, they kind of just like lean forward to go see her. They were supposed to go to the groomer last Saturday, and we got a text, or my wife did, from the lady that she wasn't going to be there Saturday. So you know what we did? We didn't take our pups last Saturday. We rescheduled this Saturday, 1 week beyond what we should do. But it was the comfortability of being with that individual. And it's just being things modern, clean. It's all, and that's just a dog grooming place. Make sure your community, just like your house, hopefully, and just like a community for seniors, that's where they live. So make it clean, comfortable, and all those kind of things. And then the last one, Brittany, is strong communication with families. What I mean by this is just like, I understand that some seniors may not have family that are present, and I get that. But the ones that do, you really want to make sure that they are involved. I know families will have the best intentions in the world to see mom every day. That lasts for a short period of time. And then it's kind of like, come on. It's like everyone else going on a diet, going to the gym first part of the year. You got great intentions for the first 3 weeks. And then things just go by the wayside, right? It's just not as important anymore. Just life happens. And so that's what happens with families. But I noticed this one care home. She's amazing. She owns 3 or 4 care homes. And what she does is she takes a picture or video of the seniors at least once a week. And she sends that picture and or video to the family to showcase what mom or dad is doing. Could be, I saw one time she was doing it. They were playing a little Connect 4 on the table. She was taking a little video of that, how dad was inserting the little checker, boom, the Connect 4. And she took pictures of them eating or them maybe saying hello to the family. I mean, how cool is that? And so maybe family, they had the best intentions, or again, life gets in the way. Maybe they're out of town now. Maybe they got a job that causes them to be all over the country most of the year and they cannot get back. And how important that video or picture would be to that family member to say, man, that's my dad right there. Wow. I mean, I think they would get a little misty eyed. I don't know. What's your opinion about this communication with families and the communities being proactive in doing that?
Yeah, no, I really agree. I mean, I think it's super important. I think that's one of the biggest complaints in senior living is the communication. Care homes usually do a good job of it being smaller, but your large communities, it's hard. I mean, they have a lot of residents. They have a lot of moving factors. What I do like to see, I've seen this recently, the technology that a lot of the large communities have now, it's like an app. And every activity they do, they put in pictures in this app and the families can log on, see if their mom or dad went there. Also in the app, it shows the menu every day. It shows activities every day. So they can call mom and dad and be like, hey, mom, bingo's at 2. Make sure you get down there. So I really like that because it's like a good flow between the community and the family. And even some of them you can message, like a direct message, the activities director, executive director, or the director of nursing in the app, which I think is amazing because it's hard to get people on the phone. So they could say like, hey, did mom go to bingo today? When the activities director gets time, they can literally get on the app or on their computer and respond right to that family. So I love that. The activities director can send pictures. I also, I know not everyone loves social media, but I love looking at the social media post of some of these communities. If they are ones that post on social media, it seems to be really good at communication. And you can see your loved ones at the activities. I can see my clients that I've placed, all that. So I really like that. I really like the use of whatever it is, whether it be social media, an app, or just directly messaging someone. But that's huge. The lack of communication is where stuff falls through the cracks, usually when it's not even it's unnecessary to fall through the cracks. Usually just the small stuff. When communication's not strong, that's when things go by the wayside, and then they keep adding up, going by the wayside, and things don't end well. So I really think it's really important. And it's important for the senior too, for their family to be involved and be able to advocate for them.
I couldn't agree more. I tell you, just getting the seniors pictures, video, or what they're doing. I like the app you're talking about, and that the family's able to follow along exactly what they're eating. And I think that would help maybe with conversations too. Let's say they did have some kind of soup and salad for lunch, and hey, talking to dad later on that afternoon. Hey man, how was your soup and salad? That just kind of brings a little easy transition into a conversation if you kind of lost what to say. And maybe saying the same things over and over. How was your day? How are you doing? And you only say that so many times. I mean, you got to come up with some other stuff. So I think that app would be a great thing. So just communities, just continue to do your best. We, Brittany and myself and students across the country in 35 different states, the ones that are doing this business, we see some exceptionally fantastic, unbelievable communities. And then we see some that are just they're trying to get there. And the ones that are just trying to get there, I'll just encourage you to kind of revisit this video a little bit, go back and take some notes, maybe what is, important to you and what will make your community stand out, how you can make the overall experience for the seniors just to be one of joy. They're thriving. They're not just being cared for, right? It's just not going to be cared for. That's goes without saying, but they're going there to thrive in this environment. So make the environment a place where, seniors just look forward to being there. And I'm telling you, if you do this small thing, and maybe it's a couple different things you do, it's going to enhance your tours. It's going to enhance your occupancy rate. It's going to enhance your census. It's going to climb greatly, because when people come in for a tour, they're going to be able to see, or at least kind of feel the vibe, right? I don't know if you have can you see a vibe, Brittany? I guess you can feel the vibe, right? They're going to feel it, right? Yeah, and they're going to go, oh man, seniors love being here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if they all walking around like this, or no one's engaging and things like that, you're making your job that much more difficult to get the next resident in. And the ones that we see where the census is high, they have a high level of engagement, and they do a lot of these things that we see. That's where a lot of these ideas came from, because that's what we observe. It's just the power of observation, man. We're out there observing what communities are doing good, and we just want to be of help to you. So hopefully this video was helpful for you. Again, if you want to know more about the senior placement business, Senior Placement Institute, Tour Senior Living, the 3 approaches on the side, you see you can do a traditional approach, online approach, TSL approach. All this information you can drop down, click a link, probably watch something about it, schedule a call with us, all that good stuff. But until next time, God bless.